Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to Blue and Gold Talk. This is a video on this channel that I just start randomly speaking about the Buffalo Sabres, the greatest team on earth. Before I get started, guys, I want to show you a clip. Maybe this will ring a bell to some of you that have been following my channel for a while. Now, here's the one I found some years ago. Now that's a René Robert autograph, and that I jumped all over this, guys, right away when I could get my hands on it. So, but here's the thing, the jersey's crap. I don't get why when people get these jerseys autographed, they use knockoff jerseys. No, God, get the, please. But anyway, I've got plans for this jersey. What I'm going to do with this one, guys, is I bought this jersey. Yep. It's one of my CCMs and it's blank in the back. The numbers are getting transferred. The name and numbers are getting transferred onto this jersey eventually. So you'll see I'll have all three of them. Then I'll have to make a decision what to do. Well, most likely I'll just use it for the channel. But I'm getting the numbers, transferring the name numbers transferred onto this jersey eventually. Yeah, that was me about 20 pounds ago, but I've knocked 7 off last week, guys. 7 pounds are gone. I want to just knock off another 18. I'll be good there. You know what I mean? I looked kind of a little sickly, I noticed in that clip. Guys, as I showed you the René Robert jersey, well, there it is, folks. It's finally done on the CCM jersey. We will... It's not an unveiling of a jersey video, but finally, I have all the French Connection autographed jerseys on the channel for the first time ever. In my CCM, of course. I think they did a pretty good job. I'm pretty impressed, actually. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to throw it on.
Hello? Yes?
All right, I'm sporting my new jersey, guys. I'm excited about this like a little kid, I'm telling you. So, how's it look? Looks all right, eh? I'm happy with it, guys. Finally. This was a work in progress for like 2 years. Yeah. It's just, I just didn't have $200 to put into this. I had to buy the jersey. That was like $150. And the transfer, the numbers was like another 75. The dry cleaning, it really was... well, they didn't really have to dry clean this. It was brand new. But for the season, guys, they're all ready, guys. All my jerseys are ready for the season. So I will put these, give me a sec. I will hang these up and we'll get started finally. All right, there we go. All right, so now that I've finished my gloating about that, I'm just excited about it. It's finally done. This is something that was wearing me down, guys, wearing me down. Okay, now I want to talk about, guys, I want to talk about what happened to the Maple Leafs in this video, and I want to compare it to our rebuild, okay? We have to learn from this, what's happened to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We have to... I would say just as fans, not as fans that hate our rivals. No, just as fans. It doesn't matter it's one of our rivals. Let's pretend it's not. Let's pretend it's Anaheim, right? We'll just pretend, or something like that. We'll pretend it's just a distant team that we don't think about. Like, what have we learned from Toronto? Really, what have we learned from that rebuild? That going out and getting a big ticket name backfires. Do you remember how the Maple Leafs reacted when they first got John Tavares? They thought they were winning the Stanley Cup, remember? I've never been a believer in this guy, guys. And I'm not just saying it because he's a Maple Leaf. I've never liked John Tavares. When he was on Team Canada, I used to cringe, okay? This is how I'd feel, really. I would worry that his presence will make Team Canada lose. This is how I felt about him. Kind of like Joe Thornton. He's like the Eastern Joe Thornton. I wouldn't want Buffalo, even with Joe Thornton in his prime, to go near that player. There's certain players that are hexed and they're never going to win a Stanley Cup and they're just born that way. And I'm telling you, I honestly believe that. So thank goodness we didn't go near that with a 10-foot pole. Now, if I'm Toronto, and some Toronto fans might see this, and they shouldn't take offense to this because they should be pissed off. If I'm a Toronto fan, I'm pissed off as hell right now, okay? What they're going through year after year, folks, is not as bad as what we're going through. It really isn't. I know we've suffered with a lot of losses and a brunt ton of jokes and everything, but imagine having a contender. I've lived both of these sides, so I can say this. You know, I went through this in the 80s, or in the 70s and the 80s, and it's painful when you have a team that you feel can win the Stanley Cup and they don't really come close ever. It's annoying. It's very annoying. So I think the Sabres, what we can learn, we have to learn from what they've done, their mistakes. Don't get a general manager that's never shaved. That's number one on the list. Don't get a guy that's like a kid as your GM. It's the dumbest, stupidest thing. You know, and people will say, oh, well, he's done a great job in Toronto. He has access to all the money in the world. Please, please. He has access to every free agent and every penny that he needs. Doesn't take a genius to be the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, it doesn't. It might take a really good GM, though, to get them over the top. This kid he just looks like he's a self-righteous character, from what I could tell. Him throwing his little temper tantrums in the booth and all that. And I just think it's a real bad look for the Leafs. And a lot of Leafs fans are all proud of it, but I think right now they're starting to see it's kind of immature, you know? And I think the Leafs have to get rid of everybody. They got to get rid of Shanahan, who was in hiding. Is it just me, or was Shanahan in hiding the last 6 months? Where is he? This guy's in hiding. You don't see him ever. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do anything. He just hides. He needs to go. Dubas needs to go. Keefe needs to go. All that guy does behind the scenes is swear every 10 seconds. Who wants a coach like that? Get rid of him, you know? So you got these guys behind the scenes. That's all they do. When you got somebody that all they can do is throw F-bombs every minute, are you really going to take them seriously? Really? You know, certain hockey channels I won't watch. Big hockey channels I won't watch because they try to act all big and swear, and it's so fake. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't. So what Toronto needs to do now, guys, really is they got to go out and they got to hire the right people. They got to get the right coaches there and not give a damn what their fans think. Stop with caring what their fans think and get the right hockey people in place and get the job done, you know? And what did Buffalo do? Buffalo we're trying to do that all along. Thank goodness we don't have that pressure like Toronto has, because we'd feel forced into a position of having to win the cup. I remember the days when the Sabres, the days in the hockey world when a smaller market team, it didn't matter if they're a smaller market. You know what I mean? These days are gone now in hockey. A bigger market team has more access to social media and all sorts of stuff now. But I think right now, if we were to look at the Buffalo Sabres, compare them to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you look at our rebuild, and you look at theirs, yeah, we got some fans in our fan base that are impatient and want something now, but ignore them. They don't matter. They're like 10%. 90% of people are on board for this rebuild in Buffalo because we've lost so much for so long. We're willing to wait. We're willing to wait because we kind of got that feeling. I think I could speak for most of us here. We got that feeling at the end of the rainbow is going to be the pot of gold finally, you know? And if we can just be patient, you know, for those people say, well, I want this to happen now, I want this to happen. 4 years. Wait 4 years. You don't like that? Too bad. There's other channels. I'm not going to lie to you. You might have to wait 4 years, 5 years, 6 years to win a Stanley Cup here in Buffalo. Might take that long with everything that we have to do to get there. But what did Kevin Adams say? What has he been saying, folks, all this time? He is building this team for sustainable success. Sustainable. Has anybody heard that word? Sustainable. Yes, sustainable. He doesn't want to build our team to have a 3 or 4 year era and that's it. You know, he wants this franchise to go on winning after and bring in a winning culture and continue. Look at the Bruins. You can do that for like 15 years. You know, you can. So I think Toronto, what they did is they made the same mistake New York has made, which is rush the rebuild. And when you rush the rebuild, there's no cup. There's no cup. Ask Vegas, ask the Rangers, and ask Toronto. 3 of the most hated franchises in the entire league, because they're 3 of the biggest markets that can just get anybody they want. And it's not jealousy. I think most of our fans find it's just ignorance on their part, that they just think they can buy a winner, and you can't buy a winner. And Toronto's rebuild was going nice and smooth, folks. It was going perfect. Then they signed John Tavares. And once they signed John Tavares, I knew, oh boy, it starts now. That's exactly what I felt that day. I swear that's what I felt. I've never been a fan of John Tavares, though, so maybe it was easy for me to say. I've never liked the guy. I've always thought he's a choker. I just don't like him. I don't like him. I find he's soft. There's a lot about his game I don't like. But I will say in that series that they just lost, even though he sucked, points-wise, he sucked. He was nowhere. He's invisible. He at least was trying in the corners, and he was at least trying. I will say that about him. I watch him. If I'm going to criticize the guy, I'm going to make sure I watch what he does. But I wouldn't want this guy at 50% salary retained. I seen people doing mock trades with the Buffalo Sabres and John Tavares. I'm like, if that ever happens, you want to see me rant? Okay? If we ever signed this guy or got this guy in a deal, or oh my God, I would lose my mind. There is no cup happening if we ever get this guy in our team. So we better stay clear from players like that. No. Would I be open-minded to any of the other Leafs and deals? Sure I would. Yeah. They're young and they could be. But Tavares is one of those guys. He's going to play an entire NHL career and never win a Stanley Cup. So he's just one of those guys, I think. But I could see Matthews maybe eventually winning a Stanley Cup. He's a great goal scorer. Yes, he kind of sucked in the second round. But if it wasn't for him, they never would have got through the first round either. So his timely goals really propelled Toronto into winning that series eventually. I mean, what did Tavares do? He got a lucky overtime winner in Game 6. Went off somebody's foot in the net. Come on, it's like it wasn't a clutch goal or nothing. It was lucky. So I'm looking at the Maple Leafs and I'm saying, you know what? I don't want the Sabres following their footstep any way whatsoever. I used to have arguments on websites with people about this. They were saying, oh, we should copy what Toronto's doing. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Do you realize what franchise you're talking about? No, not until they prove themselves in the playoffs. And I said that years ago when they had when they were all young. Here's the scary part with Toronto's rebuild now, folks. Those contracts are coming to an end. And they're in their prime years now, these guys. And they still can't get it done. That's a scary thing. So with our team, the way we're building our team, it feels more safe because we're not, trying to win we're not trying to win the Kentucky Derby in our first race. We're just not. We're trying to take another step. And then once we get there, then we soar, and I really think that Adams' plan is working no matter what. We didn't have to get a goalie, I believe, to impress some fans that just wanted to make the playoffs. No. What progress did we make this year? We've seen so much progress. Come on. For any Buffalo fans that complain now, you're not grateful. You're not grateful where we came from 2 years ago, or you didn't even watch them 2 years ago. It's one or the other. I'm very grateful what Kevin Adams has done with this team. Very grateful. I know we didn't make it, but so what? We weren't supposed to before the year started. Be honest. So I'm very grateful. And the truth is, we don't really have our real captain yet. We don't really have our real goalie yet. We just got a bit of a taste of him at the end of the year. We know now, you guys know now that I'm probably right about Devin Levi all these years on this channel. Hey, it's kind of hitting you now that thought maybe Luukkonen was the guy. No, it's Devin Levi. Give me a break. It's Devin Levi. If I'm Kevin Adams, I'm moving Luukkonen in the offseason. I am. I'm moving Luukkonen and I'm going after a vet goalie. And that's it. A solid vet goalie. And vet meaning 27 and up. 27 between 33. Yeah, that's a good range, Bring him in, put him in with Levi, and we're good to go next year. We are. There's some really solid goalies out there that we probably could get in deals, I think. And I think we could get something for Luukkonen right now. I think we could get something for Olofsson right now. And even Bryson, we probably could get a third rounder or something. You know, like we should be trying to get something for these guys while they have any kind of market value. Because if Luukkonen gets hurt next year, or if he's crap all year next year and he's just not working out, then what do? We trade him for what, a 4th round pick? You know, right now we should package some of these guys, ship them out, get rid of some of the old guys, and move on. Because if we're going to go anywhere in the future, we got to keep rotating that door of youth, okay, down at the end of the hall. We got to keep rotating the youth door and keep the new guys coming in to keep the younger guys on our team right now looking behind them saying, oh, this guy's, you know, I don't want him getting my job. Like, you've got to have that constantly happening. What message does it send when you have guys on the team because you think they're good people only? No, they got to be both, folks. They have to be both. They have to be good people and good players, not just good people, okay? It's not enough. Not in the end. For me, not in the end. It's not. You've got to, we have to get this right this time, okay? If we're going to win a Stanley Cup, we got to get this right, and we have to be merciless about it when it comes to what we're going to build here eventually, and we have to say goodbye to some people we even love, because the ultimate goal here is a championship. It's not to be friendly. It's to win a championship in Buffalo. And I'll tell you what, I think they can get it done with this GM. I think this GM has shown me more than once he can surprise me with guts all of a sudden. So I want to see what Adams does this offseason. I want to see if Okposo's coming back. That's going to be huge for me because I don't think he helps this team at this point. That's just how I feel. I think his time is done. His job, he gave us, I wouldn't say two, he gave us 1 good year out of that 7-year contract. 1 good year. And we can't just have a guy as our captain because he is likable. You know, I'd rather have a guy like Kachuk any day, because I know that's the type of guy that's going to get us done in the playoffs, get it, you know, and get us to the next round, and maybe the next round, and maybe the finals. You know, it can happen. So that's where I'm at with this one. I wanted to compare the rebuilds because we can learn from Toronto's mistakes, folks. We don't go and screw up this offseason, because this is the summer. This is the summer where we could go and get a big ticket name and they would sign in Buffalo. Any player in his right mind right now will sign with the Buffalo Sabres. This isn't like 2019 anymore. Not this team now. So a lot of players will say, you know, Buffalo's attractive. But we don't want to go out there and spend like, say, $9 million on some big name. No. That would be a mistake. I guarantee it'll be a mistake. And it would hinder this rebuild for years to come. So I do not want to go that route. But I do want to get some guys in here. They can be 3.5, 4. Get a few. That I'm okay with. As long as the salaries are movable, right? Let's say we get a guy in here and he's a forward. Like, I wouldn't sign Ryan O'Reilly for $4 million, folks. No chance. No, absolutely no. I've always thought this guy's overrated. He's a good player, but I've always thought he's overrated. I have, you know. And the year that he won the MVP in the playoffs, he was my pick as the player to get it, but I thought Binnington was the runaway. I thought that year. Well, I was surprised when Binnington didn't get it. But I figured if Binnington doesn't get it, O'Reilly's going to get it. That's kind of how it felt in that playoffs. But this now, like O'Reilly, now, folks, he's, you know, no. Let him stay with a team like Toronto. He fits better over there. Plus, he said they're the mecca of hockey. I don't want that guy back here ever. No. Any guy that's butt-kissing over there, I don't ever want him back here. So any Sabres fans that have any ideas of getting him, please, you know, see what he says in the media before you want him back. I don't want him back. So anyway, guys, I'm rambling. I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to slap together a video before tonight's game. I'm excited. I think the Oilers will win. I think they will force it to a Game 7. That's just my prediction, tonight's game. And I think the Sabres, the Oilers will win this one going away, I think. But I've been so wrong this playoff. Don't put any money on it. So what do you think, guys? Do we go out? Do we go crazy this offseason or not? I don't think we should. I think we should be very careful because, damn it, this is the time where greed can interfere in something you're doing right, you know? And this is what worries me. This is one of those things that worries me. I seen what happened with them and Tavares over there. I want no part of that. And I think the Leafs, if they're smart, they're going to break up that core four right away. They're going to get rid of management. Ownership's got to do something in Toronto. That's just what I see with Toronto. All right, I'm rambling, done. Sorry to talk your ears off. I just was in the mood to do a video, guys, a random video talking, and I'm sure I've done enough. See you in the next one.